Ma'am, firstly, I just have to give the intro to all the participants.
Sure.
Okay, give me 2 minutes. So, good evening to all. My name is Prachi Malvia from Team Jupiter. And first of all, I would like to tell you about ADOR. ADOR is a global volunteer organization where all the young and professional are working here and who has conducting sessions for children. And now I would like to welcome Soumini ma'am, and she has done her graduation from Delhi University and post graduation from Essex University, UK, and a fellowship in clinical psychology from AIMS India. And she is a certified art-based therapist, and she aims to and She aims to create a community where each individual is seen, heard, and celebrated. And to achieve this goal, she holds multiple community-based workshops with various organizations and local groups. Ma'am, we all welcome you for today's session. Now you can start your session now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prachi. A very good evening again to everyone. Thank you for taking out time for this session. I hope to have since we are a small group, I hope it can be an interactive session where we can share some thoughts and ideas, and it's just not me talking. I would love to know how many, maybe we can just do with a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or you can just share with an emoji or something. I would love to know how many of you are working professionals. No. So all of you are students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you say you're all working, students, are you all college students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, are you in your undergrad? Like, are you doing your graduation, like BA or?
Like I have completed my graduation and going to join B school this year.
Okay, okay, nice. That's great. Okay. So, let me also start by asking how many of you spend on an average, when you wake up in the morning, was how many of you first thing that you do is check your phone? You can just raise your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
I definitely check my phone. Okay. How many of you check your phone before you go to sleep? Actually, now I stopped doing that. So yeah, I can now very confidently say no. Okay. How many have your charging points next to your bed?
No, ma'am.
So that if your phone buzzes or anything, you can hear it. How many of you use silent or do not disturb on your phone when you go to sleep? Okay. How many of you, if you're sleeping and your phone does matlab, buzz or vibrate, or you hear, or if it's not on silent, you hear the ring, how many of you pick up your phone? Arey wah, none of you wake up. You must be an exceptional group, yeah? I have to see many people wake up. I must admit, when I was in college, I used to get very excited. Maybe during my time when I was in college, phones were a very, very new thing. Okay. How many of you listen to music when you are sitting idle? Like when you have nothing to do, kuch karne ko nahi hai, so you will definitely immediately plug in your headphones or put on your AirPods and just start listening to music. Find it very difficult to sit idle. Okay. How many of you, I don't know which is your favorite apps, but again, if you have nothing to do and you do wait somewhere, even if you're at the bank or you're at waiting in a line or you're waiting for the professor to come and you're alone or something, mostly when your friends are not around or basically when you're alone, will instantly take out your phone and start scrolling. Okay. How many of you spend a lot of time on video games? Oh, none of you. Oh, nice. Okay. Uh, how many of you have like long distance friends or are in long distance relationships? So spend a lot of time chatting. Okay. How many of you prefer chatting to calling? Okay. My last question is going to be, when you make a plan with a friend or somebody to meet somewhere, and then you reach there, or you're the first one to reach there, how long are you one of those people who instantly will take out your phone and message the person, I have reached, where are you? Or you will wait? So my question is, are you the one to jaise hi pahunch gaye, you will take out your phone and you will instantly message, have you reached? Where are you? Where are you? Or you will wait? All of you wait.
Wait.
Very nice. Huh? I think I've got a very unique group here because in most places when I have conducted this workshop, everyone is like, look, has a very guilty smile on their face. We will be like, where are you? Where are you? We are very restless and we hate waiting. Okay, so then let me rephrase this question. Who hates waiting? When your friends are like 10, 15 minutes late, not half an hour, 1 hour, and nobody likes to wait for half an hour, 1 hour, but like 10, 15 minutes late ho gaye, so you get very angry and irritated. And you're just like, what took you so much time? And you'll just start getting irritated. Okay. And okay, I'm going to ask actually one more question. How many of you are uh, fashion conscious, are know about the latest trends, even if you don't dress up, but know about the latest trends? Like what are the latest trends in fashion, hairstyles and bags and what, you know, what the actors are wearing and all of that. I am very fashion conscious, so I know at least what's happening. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think this was more for not me to know. It was more for you to know where you stand, what your baseline is. So even if you have not honestly admitted to me, from the smiles on your faces, I could make out when you were somewhere concealing facts from me. So you all know what your baseline is, how much you enjoy social media, how much you don't, maybe you feel a little, I won't say you don't enjoy social media, you still enjoy it, but you're somewhere a little guilty about, should I be using the social media for that? And maybe that's where I come in and I will answer a few questions. Is it okay to use social media for that? And when does social media become a little harmful for us? And how do we identify those signs? And then what can we do? So I don't think it's a big secret. I think everybody knows that at some point, social media becomes harmful for everyone. I don't think there's anything in this world which is not harmful. I mean, anything in this world in excess is harmful. So the question is not, is social media harmful? Of course it is. When it's in excess, it is going to be harmful. The point is, when is it excess for me? When is it excess for you? When is it excess for somebody else? We need to figure out, and are we ready to make the change? And why are we not ready to make changes? And what can we do to make those changes, especially in a world where we are surrounded by social media? Like, it's not something that you can run away from. It's not like I will say, oh, I don't want to use social media, and then you can just stop using it. कहीं ना कहीं से तो सोशल मीडिया आपकी लाइफ में आ जाए, अब तो काम में भी है, तो it's not like you can say I am going to live under the rock and not do it. So let's let's look into what can we maybe as a community do, or maybe what we can do individually, together, individually in our own individual lives do, or maybe as a community, what can we do to bring about this change. So I'm just going to share my uh, presentation. One second, can I share screen? So, yeah, so I am here to talk about how to have a healthy relationship with social media. I think Prachi has already introduced me. I am Soumini Menon. I stay in Gurgaon, so I'm a counseling psychologist and an arts-based therapist. And I work with children and adults, and I actually work with a range of population of people. I started off as an early interventionist, then started to work with children, then started working with adolescents and young adults. Now I also work with the geriatric population. So now I don't know if I should call myself a developmental psychologist, counseling psychologist, arts-based therapist. So I just think best is to just say I'm a psychologist. Like I said, I live in Gurgaon, so I have my offline practice in Gurgaon, Delhi, but I also do a virtual practice. So I also do online sessions. Today, what we are going to talk about is the impact of social media in our lives. Of course, the positives and the negatives. I don't think it's a really bad thing, but of course, it does come with some parts of it can, when, like I said, when it's in excess, it does cause some, uh, it does impact our life in ways that maybe we can look at in a different light. And then we will talk about, so when it starts impacting us in a way that is not good for us, what makes it unhealthy? And then how do we set the boundaries for ourselves? So I think it can be sometimes person-centric, sometimes it can be community-centric. So we look at it from both angles. So I think it might, if you're talking so much about social media, it's important to know what is social media. And I really like the term social media um, because how I see it, the whole purpose, media is, there can be media of many forms, right? The idea of social media was to connect, and it was started to help people to be able to interact with each other in a format which is through technology. So, whether it was through videos, whether it was through text, whether it was through pictures, whether it was through, so I think the intent behind social media was very genuine. It was a very uh, good intention. Over time, of course, I think like everything in this world, the intention behind why it was created, and then eventually how we find reasons to what to use it for, it all depends on the people who are using it. So like I was looking at some statistics, and it actually says 4.7 billion people use it, which also means that there's a major population that's not using it. So it's not like everyone is using social media. So you can imagine how many people are actually not using it and are still surviving. So it's not a big thing. Hamare liye, it is like social media is the king of all. But actually, if you think 4.7 billion sounds like a big number, but if you think about the world population, it's not really a very big number. So while social media might be credited with, like, with the intent of helping people build communities across continents or across land boundaries, it initially came into limelight being negative, was because it was leading to disinformation, because a lot of facts were being shared which were not true, and of course for a lot of hate speech. And right now, the social media platforms which are like on the top are, I'm surprised that even now Facebook is the number one. YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, and WeChat. So these are the top 5 social media platforms. I thought by now Facebook would have become less popular, but yeah, no, Facebook is still the number one uh, platform that continues to be on the social media. So, I mean, I was just looking up some interesting trivia for myself also. I was like, कुछ तो पता होना चाहिए इन सब चीजों के बारे में. So, so like I said, it was a way for people to interact, and then it became ways to it started being used for different things. I don't know if you guys have heard of this thing called MySpace. How many of you have heard of MySpace? It wasn't very popular in India. Has anyone of you heard of?
No.
I can't see all of you. It's okay.
No, man.
Wait, I can't see. Has anyone of you heard of MySpace?
No,
No.
ma'am.
So it wasn't very popular in, obviously it came out in 2004. Okay, I'm going to ask a very a question which is going to make me feel old. Are all of you born around 2004 and after?
Ma'am, 2003.
Ah, okay.
2002.
Okay, so see, yes, I am feeling very old now. So yeah, of course, so then no wonder you guys haven't heard of MySpace. So just like Facebook, the first Facebook-like kind of platform was MySpace. And it was only popular in US. I don't think it came to India at all. So that was the first platform which became really popular. And then based on that, you know, platforms like High Five, Orkut, and then the main platform like Facebook came up and which took over the world. So MySpace was the one which became which became the first network in the US, which became a hit. But Facebook was the first global phenomenon. Like it went viral everywhere. So and in MySpace, like you could just put some like 2, 3 pictures and you could just chat. Whereas Facebook, you know, you can do multiple things. So I mean, so you can imagine it's if you think about it, it's just social media is actually just 20 years old. And in 20 years, it has taken so much precedence and it has created so much impact. So can you imagine what I mean, can you imagine the kind of euphoria it brings into our life, the kind of emotional response it brings into our life that in 20 years, it has got 4.7 billion people hooked onto it. Can you think of anything else that could have increased at this rate? So whatever it is working. And I'll come to why it's working, but it's fulfilling something very intrinsic to human need. So whichever that intrinsic need of ours, which it is fulfilling, it has managed to catch that factor. And that is why it is something that it's working. It's working like a brilliant phenomenon. So and now, of course, it was initially just for making friends and connecting maybe with people that we already knew. And now it is being used for news, it's used for marketing, it is used for networking, it is used for everything. Like you name it and we have it. So that's why now social media is used for networking. I got to know there are like 6 categories because apparently there are courses also now that you can do. So there's for social networking, there's bookmarking, social news, media sharing, microblogging, and online form. So for example, I got to do this workshop because of social networking. Because I'm on a platform like LinkedIn, where Adore is, and then they got to know about my work, I got to know about their work, and they contact me. So that comes under social networking. So, so it's not now only connections, but it's also used for networking. And there is like, when you have in marketing areas, you have like social media marketing, you have their courses for that, and you can train in that. So now social media has become a world of its own. So before we get into how it impacts our life, we basically need to understand the difference between online and offline relationships. Uh, does anybody want to like kind of try to take a go at this? What could be the difference between an online and offline relationship? It's not a quiz, it's not a this thing. I just want to make it a little interactive.
Chat and all.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a very important point, that in online relationship, it's very dependent on, it's very text dependent, it's very word dependent. Like, how good are you at expressing through language if you're using chat? Or even if you're using videos, or if you are using pictures, how much content can you share? What all can you share? Uh, there's a limit to it, right? Versus the day-to-day interaction, the frequency of the interaction. So it's not, nothing can match the quality of an offline relationship. There's no doubt about it. Nothing can substitute offline relationships. So initially, when social media was introduced, uh, social media was introduced to enable offline relationships because of offline limitation. So for example, if like if people, like long distance relationship, like for example, let me give you a very good example, is like when the pandemic hit, social media became very, very, very helpful for us. It helped the world to stay connected. It was one of the best examples of how social media helped us stay connected. And it still made us feel uh, we are not living in isolation, right? But can social media uh, become a substitute for offline? This can be problematic, is what I'm trying to say, is in the sense that there are people in this world who sometimes struggle with making friends, or have social communication difficulties, or live in areas, or have professions where maybe sometimes having interactions can be difficult. So they have this option of finding a substitute in the virtual world. So that's a good idea. Okay, I can't do it in my real life, so let me find an option in the virtual world. But when the virtual world becomes your reality, and now you're not making any effort in your real world, then it's a problem. So for example, when the pandemic got over, many people struggled to come back to the real world. So they stuck to the virtual world. And then we started seeing anxiety, we started seeing social anxiety, we started seeing that they, even after school would be over or work would be over, they would want to come back home and be on the computer or talk to people or be on, on whatever social media platforms they are. Or people still prefer to be at home and not go back to the, workspace, or even go back to schools, because now you are in this comfort zone where everything is still accessible without me having to put in the effort of, going out and having to deal with physical interaction. So it's a good option, but if it becomes a substitute for too long, it can be a starter kit. So I feel for people who have difficulties, it can be a good starter kit to learn the skills, but it should not be the ultimate it should not be the ultimate goal. So it's a good starter kit. So when I work with neurodivergent population, by neurodivergent population, I mean people who might have diagnosis like autism or ADHD or social communication difficulties, who actually struggle with social communication. I will use maybe sometimes online platforms to help them learn how to talk to people and make friends, and then eventually help them transfer the skills into the real world. But just staying in the online world is not a good idea, because all humans need natural interactions, need to interact with the real world. And then I think the best kind of social media is when it's complementing your offline relationships. So there is, both are equally healthy. So it's you have your offline relationships, you have your online. So like what we typically do with social media, you're hanging out with your friends and you're sharing things with them also, and sometimes friends that have moved away are in different cities, so you're using it as a way to stay in touch. Sometimes you're also using it for networking or making new friends, but you will also try to stay connected with them in the real world also. Or new friends you're making online are not replacing your offline friends. So there's a balance between the two. This should be the ideal mix. And that would be like, just a good pool of online and offline balance. So that's the mix that we are hoping to create for ourselves. And I think, honestly speaking, I think that's what everyone is intending to do. I don't think anyone uh, hopes to achieve anything else. But somewhere, I think at some point, sometimes for some of us, we digress from point 3 to something else. So aim is to be at 3, but sometimes we can move to other things. Does anybody have any questions still here before we move on?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Right. I would love to know from some of you, what do you think in general, what a healthy relationship looks like? Like, what do you think are the key qualities of a healthy relationship? You can say it out loud or you can put it in the chat, but what do you think are important qualities for any kind of healthy relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a parent relationship, sibling relationship, any kind of relationship? What do you think is important for a healthy relationship? Yes, communication. Yes, I am going to write it somewhere. Sorry.
Ma'am, both the people should be giving efforts for the whatever the relationship is. It should not be one-sided kind.
Both should be giving, yeah. I have just minimized this so that in case anybody wants to write in chat, I can see it.
Between two peoples.
Understanding between two
Between
people.
two.
Yeah.
Respect is also important.
Perspective as in like ability to take each other's perspective.
Not perspective, I said respect.
Respect. Oh, sorry. Okay. Respect. Yeah. So do you think that these, because the topic of the presentation is healthy relationship with social media. So we're talking about a relationship. We are not treating social media as just something that's present in our life. We are saying that it has an important role to play. So we want to maintain a relationship. So we're treating it more than just an object. So do you think for us to have a healthy relationship with social media, uh, do we also need to have some expectations from social media, just like we would have from maybe like from a friend or a person that we have a relationship with. And maybe should we also have some expectations from ourselves when we are using social media? We should have an expectation that we are entertained by social media, right? Yeah. Anything else? Should we have any other expectations from social media? Get news faster. Yeah. Okay. Connecting with loved ones. Yes. What about ourselves? Should we have any expectations from ourselves when we are using social media?
Like,
Sorry?
likes na,
Like.
for a post. Likes for a post.
Like for a post. Okay. So that means that when we use social media, people should engage with it.
Yeah. When
Okay.
when we try to promote a webinar or workshop.
Okay. So are you using it then for work-related stuff? Or only for like, or also for your personal, like even when you put up personal posts?
Like, I only using most of time LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay, okay. So when you use it for work-related stuff, it should lead to some benefit. Okay, got it. Use it for our benefits to learn something, etc. Okay. Akash has written, use it for benefits to learn something, etc. Okay. So some people are feeling that it should be used for entertainment or connecting with loved ones. Some people want to use it for work and knowledge-based. So see how we all want to have different kinds of relationships with social media, right? So it is person to person. It can be very different for for me, for example, I have a personal and professional relationship with social media. Like sometimes there is when I connect with it for a personal reason, when I'm using it for my personal reasons, like I'm using it to connect with my friends and family or posting some personal things. And then there are times when I'm using it for networking. Uh, am I aware of it when I'm doing it? Or am I interchanging between the two of them and I'm getting confused? And when my uh, professional things get engagement, whereas my personal doesn't get engagement, I get upset. Or my personal is getting a lot of engagement, but my professional is not getting engagement, I am getting irritated. Am I understanding the back and forth that I'm doing between these two? So am I actually aware what's happening in my mind? Because at the end of the day, I'm constantly either on my phone or on my laptop. So technically, I'm spending most of my time on social media. So that I am on social media throughout, but my intent and needs are different. So sometimes we just have to be mindful of what we are doing on social media. And the lines get blurred for us. And we don't understand that what are we doing right now and why are we doing it? So coming back to having a healthy relationship, I want to just show you something. So, 1 second. So the question that I asked you all was, do you think the pillars that we have established for ourselves to have a healthy relationship with a person, do we need to establish such pillars to have a healthy relationship with social media? And I feel the answer is yes. We need to establish such pillars even with social media. But would they be same as communication? Both are giving, both are understanding, both give respect? Maybe not. Maybe the pillars will be a little different. So what could those pillars be? So according to me, the pillars could be, first of all, do I feel happy using social media? Am I just doing it because everybody does it? It's the norm of the society. It's the rule of today's world that you are supposed to use social media. Everybody's on WhatsApp. Everyone's on Instagram. Everyone's on Facebook. Everyone's on LinkedIn. So I have to do it. So do I actually feel happy using social media? Ask yourself this question. And when
Sometimes,
yeah, sorry. Please say.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Now, when I say, do I feel happy using social media? Ask, if your answer is sometimes, then ask yourself, which types of social media make me happy? Because social media is an umbrella. Under social media come many, 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 many things. So, for example, I don't like Facebook. I love Instagram. I hate Facebook. So I've deleted Facebook. I am too old for Snapchat. So I don't have Snapchat. You have to understand what makes you happy. Just because the world is doing it doesn't mean you will do it. So choose what makes you happy. You don't have to follow the crowd. So first question is, do I feel happy using social media? In social media, which apps or which platforms make me happy? Yes, I understand that sometimes certain things you have to use for professional reasons. So we will come to that separately. But do I feel happy is important. The next question you have to ask yourself, do I feel safe? If you're posting something and after that you're feeling anxious, okay, what are people going to say? What comments are going to come? Are people going to like it, dislike it, not like it? People are going to troll me, this, that. Will this picture be used by some people? Today's cyber safety is a big thing. So do I feel safe? You have control over who has access to your information. Don't post anything that you don't want people to have access to. Don't let people enter into your life that you don't want them to. So don't, even if you are on social media and you don't want people who you don't like on your connected list, don't add them. I am very particular about who's on my personal profiles. My professional networks will have everybody, but my personal network will not have everybody. I hope you all know this. Even if you delete it, it will still be online. There is a footprint left online.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
do you feel safe? If you're using it for entertainment, do I actually feel entertained, or am I doing time pass? Half the time I'm just scrolling mindlessly and I don't even realize what am I doing. Like I said, you don't even, because you can't wait for 5 minutes or you can't wait for 10 minutes. So you just take out your phone and you're just being, because then we are having difficulty engaging with ourselves, our thoughts, and the real world. That's not a good place to be. Hiding away from your own thoughts is not a good thing to be. So do I feel entertained, or I'm just restless? And my mind is going, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. Kuch karna hai, kuch karna hai, kuch karna hai. So do I feel entertained? Does this app actually serve any purpose? या बार बार मैंने वो एड इतनी बार देख लिया कि अब मेरा ब्रेन वॉश हो गया है और मैंने वो ऐप डाउनलोड कर लिया और फिर मैंने वो 2-3 बार ऐप देखा, फिर मुझे मजे भी नहीं आया, पर वो ऐप पड़ा हुआ है. So please clean your phones. Am I able to walk away? Can you pause at any time you want? Does does virtual time take precedence over real time? If something is happening around you and somebody's saying something around you or something is happening around you, can you pause what is happening on your phone to attend to it? Or is it the other way around? You'll just be like, 1 second, I'm just watching this. 1 second, I'm just typing this text. 1 second, I'm just. Once in a while, I get it. How often do you do it? So virtual is more important than real. Because going back to the phone and the laptop is easy. What's happening in real time is not easy. That will not repeat. वो मैसेज जो लिखा हुआ आया था वो तो रहेगा वही, जो अभी वो आपके सामने वो नहीं रिपीट होगा. Am I my authentic self or am I putting on an act? So sometimes in our lives can be boring, or sometimes there can be something majorly happening in our life. So we like to take a break from our life and say, ठीक है यार, एक दुनिया में ऐसे चले जाते हैं जहाँ पे बहुत कुछ, everything is nice and happy and we are looking at all these things. That's okay. But when I put my phone down, am I able to come back to this world, or am I then still pretending to be in that world and trying to do everything to go back to that world, or copying that world? Or when I'm posting things online, am I showing the reality, or I'm pretending to do things which is nothing to do with the reality? Like we all say now, what is online is not the truth. आपकी लाइफ में कुछ और हो रहा होगा, आप या यू वेंट फॉर अ मूवी व्हिच वाज एन ओके मूवी, यू डिडंट हैव अ ग्रेट टाइम, बट फोटोज आपने ऐसे लगाए होंगे कि वाह, टाइम ऑफ योर लाइफ यू हैड दैट इवनिंग, and you know all of you are laughing and everyone's like, oh yeah, she's so lucky, she has such a good set of friends. But movie तो ऐसी थी, you just went for a movie, had watched, and then everybody went, and you actually maybe didn't have a great time because you guys didn't, or maybe you just had an argument also with one of the friends. So are you posting for the sake of posting because you want to show you have a full life? Because nobody has a full life. So are you being authentic? Are you being genuine? Are you showing the reality? And by showing the reality doesn't mean that you have to show your sad life. You don't have to show your sad life. But झूठ बना के भी नहीं दिखाना. कुछ मत पोस्ट करो. अगर कुछ नहीं हो तो कुछ मत पोस्ट करो. तो ये क्यों दिखाना है कि कुछ हो ही रहा है? So are you being honest? Are you being genuine? And whatever you are doing on social media, or whatever you're using, any app that you're using, does it add any value to your life? So like I said, is it entertaining you? Does it make you happy? Does it get you news? Does it add knowledge? Does it help you stay connected with your friends? If it is adding no value, why is that thing in your life? Because it's a trend, because everyone does it, or because you don't know? Or like I said, because the ad kept popping and without realizing you just download it.
Ma'am, because our mind is set to do this thing, like.
So you have to realize social media marketing experts are very good at brainwashing us. So once you click on an ad, or you see something for more than like a few seconds, they will know that you have engaged with this ad for more than a few seconds. And now wherever you will go, that same ad will keep popping up, and ads related to same themes will keep popping up till you will either purchase it or click it or download it. Everything in this world right now is programmed to brainwash you. So you have to be smarter. तो फॉर अगर मैंने कहीं पे एक एड देख लिया एक डांस क्लास के लिए, while I'm scrolling on Instagram, I saw a dance ad. And normally all of these have some algorithm where the app is able to pick up on how long did you pause on any. So even though I did not click on the ad, but if I paused on that ad for more than 3 seconds, the ad has picked up that I paused before scrolling away. So now suddenly my algorithm will change on my Instagram and I'll be flooded with dance related things. That's how wonderfully our social media is programmed. So you have to realize everything is working against us right now to brainwash us. So you have to be smarter. So ये just चीजें हम बोलते हैं destiny and it's a sign from the universe. I'm supposed to go for this. I'm supposed to call him. I'm supposed to do this. No, it's algorithms. So be smarter. Ask yourself these questions. Are these questions being answered? And once you have answered these questions, then we will come to how to detox. So, any questions on these? Should I move on to the next slide? Okay. So remember me asking you, why do you think social media worked so well in two decades? The reason is very simple. Humans are genetically wired to, we are social beings. We are supposed to connect. We have this strong, as we are born, our first inherent genetic skill is to connect. Like the first thing that a baby, when he comes out of the mother's womb, the first thing he does is look for his mother. So I don't know if you know this, but now when the baby is born, the first thing they do is they take the baby and put it on the mom's chest, because they have to instantly let the baby feel the mother. And that's when the baby stops crying. So they will instantly put the baby. That's how strong human connect is. So, and that also shows how important emotions are. And that is why psychology is a field that is growing so much now, because it's showing that mind and body are so connected कि अगर आप emotions नहीं समझोगे तो तुम जितने भी skills सिखा दोगे to an individual, if the emotions and the mind and body are not connected, it's not going to work. So social media is basically working on that. Social media is working on social connect and social media is working on emotions. It's tapped onto the two key essential parts of human beings. And it's playing around with those two. So it's leading to social connectedness. It is leading to emotional gratification and it's leading to instant gratification. Now, can you imagine if these three things are happening? Why would you not be addicted to social media? So it's actually pretty close to substance abuse and alcohol abuse, because that's what substance abuse and alcohol does. It's emotional and instant gratification. The only added advantage is social connectedness. So it's actually stronger than substance abuse and alcohol abuse. So that's why it looks healthier, but it can be actually as strong as that if not used correctly. So I think we have discussed enough about this. So I'll just move on to what are the signs that you may be experiencing mental health problems after spending time on social media. Is that one is, like I said, like after you have been on a platform, you feel, instead of feeling happy, you're feeling low self-worth, or you're feeling ki mujhe like, success has not been achieved, or what you wanted to do, you're feeling low moods and you're feeling like a sense of failure, or you can feel your anxiety levels rising. Does everybody understand the meaning of anxiety? Anxiety can be felt in the forms of like your heartbeat racing, sweating, or like, feeling a lot of tension, stress, and uncontrolled feelings of कि I'm not feeling okay, and मुझे कुछ जैसे कोई deadline meet करना है पर पता नहीं वो deadline क्या है, मुझे कुछ I need to do something but I don't know what that thing is. Getting very angry, like having temper tantrums. हमेशा गुस्सा आ जाता है, पर क्यों गुस्सा आ रहा है, we don't know. what is the anger about? We don't know. And like I said, mood changes. Either sometimes you're very happy, sometimes you're very sad, sometimes you're low moods, or just generally overall like long moods of sadness. Yeah, I don't want to say depression, but long moods of low moods, because again, all of these, you are not being able to attribute it to a specific cause. But you have noticed कि even normally जब आप social media पे जाते थे तो आप used to start feeling better, but now you have noticed when I go to social media also I don't feel better. या जब मैं social media पे जाता हूँ तो it gets more prominent. So that's a sign that social media is also a trigger for you. So then how do we set boundaries, right? This is the main crux of everything. कि now we know कि कुछ तो हो रहा है या अभी शायद कुछ हो नहीं रहा, and we want to do preventive work कि इससे पहले कि कुछ हो जाए, and we are aware कि social media can be problematic. So before it becomes problematic, let me be very mindful of what we are doing. So I generally in life believe about being mindful. Mindful is being aware of what choices you make in life. So sometimes when we start doing things in life, like when we are working, when we are studying, when we're eating, when we are exercising, when we are doing something which is very routine oriented, we do it at a subconscious level. And वो subconscious level में ना, like मुझे पता है आज मुझे walk पे जाना है तो I need to exercise, so I have to go to the gym. So and I know how many exercise, what are my sets of exercises I need to do. I will do it and come back home. Then I will take a shower and then I will eat my food and I will go to sleep. Because I know this set so well, I will do this every day. कि अगर किसी दिन I start having aches and pains, I will not realize. या एक दिन मैंने कुछ थोड़ा गलत कर दिया, I will not realize because I'm not registering कि आज मैं कुछ अलग कर रहा हूँ. Because my mind is not registering or very into the moment or in the presence in that time to pay attention to what's happening. So even when we are doing routinic things, sometimes we need to take a minute to be like, okay, let me pay attention to each and everything that I'm doing. So becoming mindful and being mindfully present in the choices that I'm making. So some of the choices that you can take is that first of all is socially distance yourself from your timeline. So by that we mean is that first of all assess your baseline. Do you know how much time do you actually spend on social media, whether it's professional or personal? So how much time do you do it for work and how much time do you do it for your personal reasons? So know your baseline. Like for work, I spend around this much time, and for personal reasons, I spend this. First, have your baseline known to you. Because once we know your baseline, उसी से तो पता चलेगा कि मैं अब I will start reducing it or increasing it. Because if you don't know your baselines, we don't even know where to start from. So just saying कि I will not, every day for 1 hour, I will not do this. It's fine to say that, but if you are spending almost 12 hours a day and you say, I will not look at my phone for 1 hour, in 12 hours, if you're not looking at your phone for 1 hour, it's not going to make much of a difference. Because actually you will end up compensating for that 1 hour later. So you will still continue to do 12 hours. So you need to know your baseline. So pehle check for how much actual time do you spend. You don't need to know exactly minute to minute, but like average bit, how much. So I think all our phones have these, if you have smartphones, all our phones have these facilities कि you can get to know how much time you spend on your screen time. तो उसमें दिख जाता है productivity के लिए, creativity के लिए, ये सब के लिए. So you can check your stats on your phone and just see कि how much time do you actually spend on your screen time. आपको idea दिख जाएगा. Take your own pulse. By your pulse, we mean you will start noticing when is your usage the maximum and when is your usage less. So you will get to know कि कहाँ पे आपको need ज़्यादा feel होती है and when do you feel the need less. So then you know which are the places where you need to work more on your social media distancing, because this is the time when it's more difficult for me to let go, because here's the time when I feel more higher needs to go. Then it might also show you your need is more because this is the time you're at work and maybe you're using it for work. So that is why. So then you also have a rational reason. Okay, this is work related stuff. So maybe that's why it's justified for you. Set your social media intention. Why are you spending so much time on social media? This I would say more for personal reasons. तो जब आप रात को फाइनली लेट जाते हो बेड पे और स्क्रॉल करने लग जाते हो, या जब आप यहाँ वहां बैठे हो और बस सोशल मीडिया पे स्क्रॉल कर रहे हो, so what is the purpose? Are you just taking a break? Are you checking up on your friends? Are you looking for some fun and entertainment? Okay, fine. How much time do you want to give yourself? Set that intention, and with that intention, do it. Don't just sit down and just randomly start doing it. So set an intention for yourself. When we go out also to meet our friends, we do tell ourselves somewhere, na, kabhi, of course, we break that curfew and come back. But we do tell ourselves, na, chalo, okay, let's go hang out with that person and we'll be back by this time. हम हर चीज के लिए एक इंटेंशन तो सेट ही करते हैं ना. ऐसा थोड़ी है कि हम घर से निकल जाते हैं और बोलते हैं जब मन करेगा तब वापस आ जाएंगे. So set an intention. And when you are adding people as your followers, or you are following people, have a reason for following. Don't just randomly start. And again, put presence over perfection. I think this is something that we all struggle with. I think we all want to get the perfect picture and the perfect this thing. So sometimes when we are doing certain things, हम इतना वो aesthetics and edits and इसमें घुस जाते हैं कि I think we compare our profiles with professional profiles. So we have to remember, we are not influencers. We are not media professionals. We are people. We are human beings who are on social media. Sometimes we'll put up beautiful posts. Sometimes we will not put up beautiful posts. So when we do put up good posts, that's great. And that's happened. But if it's not happened, it's not happened. And we should live also in the moment and enjoy the moment. And of course, practice self-love. I mean, you come first before your social media platform and other people's love and criticism. So make sure you give yourself lots of self-love. And practice rest also. Once in a while, do have no social media days and just take rest and take a time off and take, you should have detox days where you are not on social media at all. And last but not the least, I would like to end with a challenge for all of you. The 1 week challenge. So there are some options here. You can pick 1, 2, or as many as you want. Why don't you pick any and try for 1 week that you would try one of these and see how tough or easy it is for you to do it. And that will also kind of give you an idea that is it easy to do a social media detox or not. And if you have any questions, I'm open.
Yes, ma'am. At previous slide, where we
Yes.
talked about time management, because we should check that time, how much time we are spending on social media. So, like, what strategies we can use to manage that time, what we spent on social media? Like, I open Instagram for 2 minutes, but end up with 20 minutes.
20 minutes is not that bad, actually. I mean, there are people who, do you think it's bad?
Kind of, man.
Okay, how
Not
much time,
exactly.
how much time would you like to spend?
Uh, I think more than, not more than 30 minutes.
Not more than 30 minutes. But you are spending 20 minutes, no?
Yes, I said it generally, but I use more than 20 minutes, sometimes 1 hour plus one.
Okay, now you're saying 1 hour. You started off by saying 20 minutes, but now you're saying 1 hour. There's a big difference between 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now you know the where you are at, which is 1 hour, and you want to be at 30 minutes. You're saying you want to be at 30 minutes, right?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
what would you want to be at 30 minutes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So do you think from 1 hour you can immediately go to 30 minutes?
I don't think so, ma'am.
Yeah, and I also don't think so. So maybe you should start scaling it down. So from 1 hour, what do you think could be a better goal?
I think 15 minutes we can do.
So instead of 1 hour, do you think 45 minutes is achievable?
Probably. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, how do you stop normally, how do you stop when you're on Instagram? Do your eyes get tired?
लाइक जो हम यूज करें, तो वो जो हम फालतू का टाइम वेस्ट करते हैं ना उसमें सोशल मीडिया पे या कोट्स देखने में या वीडियोस देखने में, तो वो थोड़ा सही जगह पे यूज हो टाइम, ऐसा कुछ।
सॉरी, मुझे समझ नहीं आया।
किसी को समझ में आया? बता दो। अच्छा मैम,
हम
मान लो हम लोग मीम्स वगैरह देखते हैं, है ना? मीम्स
हाँ, हाँ,
स्क्रॉल करते
हाँ,
रहते
हाँ,
उसमें 1 आवर चला जाता है। तो मतलब ऐसा कुछ पेज है या जिसको हम मतलब जो हमारे लिए सही भी हो उसको फॉलो करें या फिर उसमें टाइम स्पेंड करें, ऐसा कुछ?
फिर आप उसमें 1 घंटा लगा दोगे। तो वो
सही
सोल्यूशन क्या?
होगा ना, फिर वो तो सही वे में यूज होगा ना।
फिर भी वो 1 घंटा तो चला गया ना आपका।
अच्छा।
पॉइंट ये है कि इंफॉर्मेशन सही हो या गलत, उसमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। प्रॉब्लम है कि आप कितना टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे हो उस पे। तो आप वो सोशल मीडिया पे रीड कर रहे हैं, बुक्स में रीड कर रहे हैं, या ऑनलाइन रीड कर रहे हैं, या आप यू नो शॉप्स एंड कैफेज में रीड कर रहे हैं, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। प्रॉब्लम ये है कि आप कितना टाइम वहीं खड़े होके वही चीज देखे जा रहे हो, देखे जा रहे हो, देखे जा रहे हो, देखे जा रहे हो। कब आप स्टॉप कर पाते हो, कब आप पॉज कर पाते हो। तो आपको कोशिश करना चाहिए, जैसे जब मैं आकाश से बात कर रही थी, कि अगर आप ये सब चीजें पढ़ रहे हो, ये बहुत अच्छी चीजें हैं जो आप पढ़ रहे हो, पर आपको क्या आप पॉज कर पाते हो? कि अगर आप 1 घंटा उस पर स्पेंड करते हो, तो क्या आप 45 मिनट्स के बाद या आधे घंटे के बाद या 15 मिनट के बाद बोल सकते हो कि ओके, ये मुझे बहुत मजा आ रहा है, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, पर अब मैं पॉज करने वाली हूँ,
नहीं मैम, ऐसे नहीं
मुझे
होता।
क्योंकि मुझे और काम भी करने हैं। तो उस पे काम करना है, इसको हम कहते हैं सेल्फ कंट्रोल। तो सेल्फ कंट्रोल पे काम करने की जरूरत है हमें। तो एक चीज जो आप कर सकते हो वो कि काफी बार जब हम चीजें देख रहे होते हैं ऑनलाइन और हमें लगता है ये बहुत अच्छी चीज है, ये बहुत अच्छी चीज है, और फिर हमें डर रहता है कि ये हम बाद में नहीं देख पाएंगे, तो मैं क्या करती हूँ, मैं उस चीज का ना लिंक अब कहीं सेव कर लेती हूँ, या तो मैं किसी को भेज देती हूँ व्हाट्सएप पे, या फ्रेंड्स को भेज देती हूँ, या किसी को भेज देती हूँ, ताकि नेक्स्ट टाइम जब मैं फोन खोलूंगी मैं वो लिंक वापस खोल सकूँ। तो मुझे याद रहेगा कि मैं क्या पढ़ना चाहती थी या क्या देखना चाहती थी, पर उस वक्त मैं पॉज कर पाऊँ। सो इसको हम कहते हैं बुक मार्किंग। हम बुक मार्क कर देते हैं जो चीजें हमें देखनी है, ताकि नेक्स्ट टाइम मैं कंटिन्यू कर सकूं, पर अभी मुझे पॉज करने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि हमें डर लगा रहता है कि ये मैं फिर से कैसे ढूंढूंगी, फिर से कैसे ढूंढूंगी, फिर से कैसे ढूंढूंगी। तो आप ये चीज कर सकते हो, जब आप मीम्स देख रहे हो या कुछ वीडियोस देख रहे हो या कुछ पिक्चर्स देख रहे हो, तो आप उस लिंक को व्हाट्सएप पे सेव कर लो या कहीं पे भी सेव कर लो, अपने फोन में मैसेजेस में सेव कर लो, और फिर बाद में नेक्स्ट टाइम आप फोन खोलोगे जब आपके पास फ्री टाइम होगा, फिर उस लिंक को वापस खोल देना और फिर देख लेना, पर पॉज करो, 1-1 घंटा मत स्पेंड करो। ठीक
मैम
है,
वही मुश्किल होता है, हम सोचते हैं
हाँ,
मैं
यहाँ से
सोचती हूँ
शुरुआत कर।
5 मिनट, अभी 5 मिनट चला लूं फिर नहीं
हाँ
चलाऊंगी, फिर वो
हाँ,
5 मिनट का कब 15 हो जाता है वो पता ही नहीं लगता, फिर टाइम निकल जाता है ऐसे में।
तो यहीं से शुरू करेंगे। 1 घंटे को 5 मिनट करने की जगह 1 घंटे को हम आ, आधा या 45 मिनट्स करने की कोशिश करते हैं। फिर उसको और कम करेंगे और कम करेंगे और कम करेंगे। पर आप लिंक्स को सेव करना शुरू करो,
ठीक है।
ताकि आपको ऐसा ना लगे कि ये सब छूट जाएगा मेरा।
ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
Well,
Ma'am, how can we handle disagreements and conflicts like on social media? Like I open Twitter and someone is saying something. I usually try to ignore, but sometimes I just कुछ भी बोलने लगता हूँ जब मेरे मतलब जब डिसएग्रीमेंट करता हूँ किसी से। So how
sorry,
can we handle it?
मतलब कोई कुछ कहता है, आपको रिप्लाई करने का मन करता है?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ,
मैम
that's a
सेम प्रॉब्लम।
that's a very good thing. That's also about self regulation. तो एक चीज, तो यहाँ पे हम माइंडफुलनेस प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। आजकल आई थिंक बहुत सारी चीजें हमें ऑनलाइन देखने को मिलती हैं जहाँ सबके पास बहुत सारी ओपिनियंस है, एंड बहुत सारे लोग बहुत सारी चीजें ऑनलाइन बोलते रहते हैं, एंड बहुत सारा मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन भी होता है। तो एक तो जब आप कुछ देख रहे हो और पढ़ रहे हो, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड नो कैन यू लुक अवे, बिकॉज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू डोंट नो दिस पर्सन, आप इसको जानते नहीं हो, आपको पता नहीं है ये किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बता रहे हैं आपको चीजें, तो देर इज नो पॉइंट गेटिंग इन्वॉल्व। अगर मैं किसी के सामने 1-to-1 डिस्कशन कर रही हूँ तो इट्स इजियर टू हैव अ डिबेट और एन आर्ग्यूमेंट, बिकॉज हम ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, वो ज्यादा कॉन्टेक्स्ट दे सकते हैं, मैं भी ज्यादा कॉन्टेक्स्ट दे सकती हूँ। पर अगर ऑनलाइन है, आप सारी बातें तो नहीं लिख सकते हैं ना। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सी इफ यू कैन वॉक अवे, आप इग्नोर कर सकते हो कि नहीं। तो मैं कभी कभी कुछ वीडियोस होते हैं या कुछ कमेंट्स होते हैं, जैसे मैं पढ़ने लगती हूँ या देखने लगती हूँ, मुझे लगता है कि ये कुछ बोल रहे हैं जो मुझे मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली पसंद नहीं आने वाला है, मैं उसी वक्त मूव ऑन कर दी। मैं पूरा वीडियो ही नहीं देखती, या मैं पूरा कमेंट ही नहीं पढ़ती, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि इट्स गोइंग टू मेक मी अपसेट। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल डोंट एंगेज। इफ यू हैव एंगेज्ड and it has made you upset, second, close your phone and walk away. Now we are taking a mindful decision that I am going to take a break. I'm going to take a 15 minutes break. And after 15 minutes, मैं देखूंगी कि how am I feeling? Am I still angry? Am I still upset? Yes, I am still angry and upset. I will talk about it with someone. क्योंकि उस पर्सन को तो अभी भी मैं जानती नहीं, और उस पर्सन को तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला। So I'm going to talk to somebody about it. But in 90% of the cases, after 15 minutes, I'm okay. पर मैं ना ही इसको स्क्रॉल करती रहूंगी, nor will I keep staying on my phone. But when I get angry on social media, I close my phone, मतलब not switch off my phone, just close my phone, put it on the side, and I get up. मैं literally उठ के चली जाती कहीं और। क्योंकि द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक वी डू इज कि हम फिर भी फोन पे लगे रहते हैं कि चलो भूल जाएंगे भूल जाएंगे भूल जाएंगे, पर हमारे दिमाग में वो ही चलता रहता है।
मैम बट फिर फोन आके दोबारा देखते तो फिर भी वही होता है ना, अरे ये चीज छोड़ के गई थी मैं।
नहीं नहीं, ऐप तो बंद करोगे ना आप ये नहीं कि ताकि जब आप खोलो वही चीज दिखे आपको। ऐप बंद करो, प्रॉपरली बंद करो, ताकि जब ऐप भी खुलेगा। तो आई हैव एन एप्पल, मुझे नहीं पता एंड्रॉइड में एप्स कैसे बंद करते हैं। कंप्लीटली ऐप को बंद करो, ताकि जब आप ऐप खोलोगे तो होम पेज से खुले ऐप, एंड सो दैट यू कांट एक्सेस वो वाला पेज या वो वाला कमेंट। कभी कभी होता है कि हमारे ही पेजेस पे, हमारे ही फोटोज पे, हमारे ही चीजों पे लोग कुछ कमेंट कर देते हैं, हमारे ही जान पहचान के लोग कुछ बोल देते हैं, तो वो ज्यादा मुश्किल होता है। In that case, I think instead of getting into it online, it's better to give it 1 day, 24 hours, not half an hour or 15 minutes, 1 day. अगर एक दिन तक भी आपके दिमाग से वो चीज नहीं जा रही कि आपके दोस्त ने या आपके फैमिली मेंबर ने ऐसा कैसे बोल दिया, देन उनसे डायरेक्ट बात करो, ऑनलाइन नहीं, बिकॉज दे आर योर फ्रेंड और फैमिली मेंबर। उनके साथ ऑनलाइन ये सब डिस्कस करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, आप उनसे डायरेक्टली बात करो कि आई डिड नॉट लाइक व्हेन यू सेड दिस। और आई मीन इफ दे योर फ्रेंड योर फैमिली मेंबर, तो आप ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन डिस्कस करो ना, क्यों ऑनलाइन पूरी दुनिया को दिखा रहे हो कि आप लड़ रहे हो। तो नोन पीपल के साथ 24 hours, अननोन पीपल के साथ 15 minutes to half an hour, but walk away. We are taking mindful decision. I have control over myself and my mind and my thoughts and my actions, so I am going to walk away. आप पूरी दुनिया को सुधार नहीं सकते।
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Any other question?
मैम कोई ऐप है क्या?
For
ऐप है मतलब जिसको हम रिस्ट्रिक्टिव कर सकते हैं सोशल मीडिया को, ऐसा कुछ कि वो थोड़े टाइम बाद बंद हो जाए?
so most apps में you have and most phones have like downtime or sleep. आप अपने फोन्स पे स्लीप एंड ये सब चीजें डाल सकते हो कि आप एक लिमिट डाल सकते हो अपने फोन पर। आई थिंक मेनी फोन्स हैव दिस। आप चेक कर सकते हो अपने सेटिंग्स में कि आफ्टर अ सर्टेन टाइम आपका फोन ही लॉक कर देता है सारे एप्स को, ताकि वो डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब पे चला जाता है, तो कोई भी
मैम
नोटिफिकेशन
इसमें अगर हम काम कर रहे हो तो फिर ही चले जाए फिर?
नहीं, मतलब अगर आप खोलोगे पासवर्ड डालोगे तो वो खुल जाएगा, पर वो डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब पे चला जाता है, तो आपको नोटिफिकेशंस और रिंग्स नहीं आएंगी। लाइक मेरे में है, मैं 10 o'clock को मेरा फोन डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब पे चला जाता है, तो अनलेस मैं पर्सनली जाके एक्सेस नहीं करूंगी, मेरे को कोई नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आती। एंड दैट इज बिकॉज आई माइन इज माई वर्क फोन ऑल्सो, तो इसलिए मैंने जान के उसको DND पे डाला हुआ है, ताकि मेरे को रात को मैसेजेस ना, क्लाइंट्स के मैसेजेस ना आए, मतलब पता ना चले।
थैंक यू मैम।
थैंक यू।
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving such an amazing webinar. Uh, we all are very thankful to you, and we hope and we all are enjoyed very much. And we will share a feedback link with you.
श्योर।
Uh, हम आपके साथ एक फीडबैक लिंक शेयर कर देंगे, जो भी फीडबैक्स होंगे सबके आपको पता चल जाएंगे। एंड वंस अगेन थैंक यू, और थैंक यू सो मच from all the participant sides also.
थैंक यू सो मच।